So here we are on Tuesday the 9th of June, still waiting for a clear direction forward. So I had a review with the oncologist via the phone today, which was just that the testing hasn't arrived back yet. Nobody can understand why it's taking so long, and nobody wants to make any decisions about anything until that is back, understandably. Just a bit frustrated by what feels like administrative incompetence every step of the way. We've got these amazing health professionals who want to do really good clinical work, but sometimes, it feels like often the processes around them feels like incompetence around sharing of information, or how information gets to one person and from another person, and how you tick a box and which form you fill out when. And that's what makes this particular journey so incredibly difficult. So fortunately, I just let that go today. And then I went and met with my general practitioner, my GP, who I haven't seen since she said, look at that, your mammogram says you've got breast cancer. So bringing her up to date with all the things, realising that she hasn't received any correspondence from any of the medical specialists or the hospitals, despite the fact that I have written her down and given permission, put her on every single form, including all of her address and phone number. I just don't understand why this has to happen. Like, if I ran my private practice the way our health services run themselves, I wouldn't have a business. I just think that's unnecessarily poor, and probably one of my biggest complaints about this whole experience, just because I know it doesn't have to be this difficult. So GP today was getting forms filled out because it's incredibly evident that I cannot work full time, and I still feel incredibly unwell. Migraines have reduced, hurrah, but me pulling full-time wages out of the business is really putting us into a very difficult situation, and I need to be paying other people to do the things that I can't do, and I can't do the delivery that I used to do, so it's costing me 50% of what we charge out. So I can see why so many self-employed people find this whole process of getting sick, and why just shutting your business down would be a way to feel like you can just go about getting healthy. I don't want to do that, because the thought of not having my business, or the thought of not having good work to do, makes me really anxious. But all the forms and all the questions and all the things, I'm incredibly anxious about it, because I work in this space. And I don't expect it to be easy, and I don't expect what I say to be taken on face value, and that's really sad. We've also got another insurance product that is supposed to be about helping us during these periods of time, where I just feel like it's not going to do that at all, and it's actually going to add to the emotional burden that I feel about all of this at the moment. So that's it's a real genuine struggle. Wonder what the test is going to say. Makes me anxious. Every time I have a medical appointment, I get incredibly anxious. My GP was so lovely that she said, "Jo, that's very common." And then she said something that I would say to a client, which I appreciated, which was, I would be more concerned about you if you weren't anxious. And what I've been able to understand is that for 6 weeks, every time I went to see a medical person or have another radiology thing or another test, there was another diagnosis, another thing that was found, another thing that needed to be done. It was completely unsettling and destabilizing and invasive. Let's not forget about all the invasion that I've been feeling. I have to keep reminding myself that being anxious is a normal reaction to this very abnormal circumstance. But there's a part of me that's just waiting for this IP insurer to go, well, we're not covering you because you've got an exclusion on mental health conditions. And it's your mental health that is stopping you from working, not your cancer diagnosis. Awesome, huh? All right, let's move on.